Hello art students and fans, this is Mr. Nanari with another at-home art project that you can do. As long as you have some paper and something to draw with and trace, you can do this. So we are going to be using some words that we know, some words that we don't know. Our two that we're going to focus on, that you're going to hear a lot, are positive space and negative space. Words that you already know that we'll be using: pattern, design, line, and shape. So the positive space in this is when you're walking around your house or outside, find some objects that you might like to trace. All right, I'm going to choose from these in a bit here. The positive space is whatever we are tracing. The inside of that, we're going to put a design in there. The negative space is everything that's on the outside, or all of the pink that you see on this one. Our steps, after we collect our items: trace the object. In this case, it's all scissors. I tried to fill up everything on here. Some of them are overlapping. If you're comfortable with doing that, just make sure that you're not putting too many in one space. It gets really distracting on where you're supposed to be drawing or coloring, and it can tend to look a little sloppy too. So once you have everything traced, we're going to start using line and pattern to design inside our objects or our shapes. So on this one, I traced all my scissors and start making some squiggly lines. This one has some just vertical lines filling up all this positive space inside the pair of scissors. Keep doing that until you are all done. I use different patterns on each positive space here. And when it's all done, you can use whatever you're coloring with, whatever you have at home, to fill in the negative space or the background, something that we didn't draw on. So I do have some examples of ones that students have done in the past that I happen to have. This person was tracing, but their lines were a little shaky, so they decided to make it look like a sketch instead of a very solid, bold line that went around the scissors. And we have an unfinished one here, but it's really good. They use scissors as well, and they started making not only just line patterns, but they use shape patterns as well. So I have just some extra paper that I had found from an old project. I'm going to do a couple of these for you, give you a live example here. So my first thing was I was tracing. So I'm holding my object down with one hand while I trace all the way around with the other, pressing down on the paper and against whatever object you're tracing. All right, I do like scissors, because you can open them up. Just be careful about the edges if you do that, but they're an interesting shape. I'm going to do an overlapping example. When you do this, you can trace the entire thing. If you do that, you will need an eraser. So I traced my whole glue bottle here for a shape, but I have the tips of the scissors going right through. So I need to figure out which one looks like it's on top and which one looks like it's on bottom. So if I place my glue right over my scissors, I can't see this middle part of the scissors. If I erase that, the part I couldn't see just now, it'll look like the glue bottle is on top or overlapping my scissors. Another way to do that, if you don't want to erase or you don't have a nice big eraser, is when you're going to trace, if you see or you hit another line, stop. I don't know if a fidget spinner was my best pick since it moves. Yeah, maybe not a fidget spinner. And see, I didn't even draw this little guy right here because he's underneath the tape. Alright, so I have my design laid out. I have my objects traced. We're going to be drawing patterns or lines inside each object. And that's the positive space. You can get as creative or as colorful as you want with these. I'm going to just do some wavy lines here inside. And I'm going to go ahead and trace with my marker as well along the outside edge. Get my glue bottle. Trace the outside, whatever color you're using. And then again, I'm going to try a line design. Do some diagonal lines here. All right, go with another cool color for my scissors. And I like that crazy swirly line design I saw on the other one. Looks a little messy, but it's all contained inside our positive shape here. And finally, the fidget spinner that was a little hard to trace because it kept moving. And this one, I'm going to do all curves since it was all curving on me as I tried to trace it. So I can keep expanding out as far as the paper goes. I can add other medium, like maybe crayon in the inside of this. The negative space, guys, is what's on the outside, or in between if you have some space in between your what you traced. But again, anything that you can find, leaves outside, twigs, you can trace whatever you're coloring with too. Use a marker. Trace all that up. Get creative. Send me your pictures on that text on the dojo, and you can get entered in to win our weekly Wilson Art Contest. So get creative, have fun, send me some pictures, and I will see you guys later.